You're welcome to the art of intentional parenting. I'm going to take about 5 minutes. I'm going to start in exactly at 5:05 p.m. here. I'm just going to wait for a few people to join us. The chat box is opened, so you can just send in your name as you come in. And if you have other questions that you were not able to put up while you were registering, you can put it up now. So I'm just going to wait for 4 minutes, and we'll start the class. Yes. Okay, about 2 minutes more. People will just join us wherever they meet this. Okay. I have one viewer already. We're starting in 2 minutes. 2 minutes. So, okay, about 2 minutes more. People will just join us wherever they meet. One more minute, and we'll be ready to start. One more minute. We'll be okay. It's 5:05. Good evening. My name is Rikoya Ogumbi. I am a pharmacist, and I'm doing my postgraduate in child and adolescent mental health. And a majority of what I'm going to be sharing with you are not just theories. There are proven theories that have worked and will continue to work. So as people join in, kindly just indicate your presence by writing your name and group chat, or if you have questions, kindly just write it down there. We have over 100 questions that we have to tend to today. So I'm just going to start with few psychological principles that govern parenting, and then I'll go into the questions because I've realized that a lot of as I answer those questions, I would have to repeat these theories and repeat these methods of parenting children. So rather than saying so much um, in the discussion, I could just answer questions, and as I answer questions, we'll be able to discuss. I'll be able to talk about it practically. So parenting, it is. I usually call parenting a gift because first, when I have when I have to talk to parents and they say that they want to change the world, when they share their vision about changing the world, wanting to do amazing things, they kind of say it outside of their family. They say it outside of their family. And I wonder sometimes that you have, sometimes, most of the time, I tell them that you have a child, you have children, have aspirations, but children, they're having children means that you can actually change the world through a particular person. And I don't see anything greater than that. Imagine if we have a world where people do the right thing because the previous generation nurtured the present generation to do the right thing. So children are usually, if you want to impact on the world, if you want to give your greatest gift to the world, I think that if you nurture your children well and they grow up with those principles, abiding by them, then you have done the world a great favor. Imagine if all of us right now nurture our boys to be good fathers, be good husbands. The same thing with our daughters. We nurture them to be good women, good mothers, good aspiring, whatever, for them to have aspirations and all of that. In next 30 years, in next 30 years, we'll be having a generation filled with both men and women that are well adjusted and with responsible character. So I see children as parenting as a way to change the world, and it's one of the reasons that this particular training is personal to me. And parenting is actually a very personal thing to me, given the fact that as an adolescent, I had my tough years with my parents, and not because they wanted to actually be tough parents. In fact, later on, I spoke to my mother about it, and she was like, she didn't know how not to be like that. That was how she thought she was doing the best for me. So most of the times, the parents just do what they think is right. So here we're going to be using psychological theories to prove and to discuss different aspects of our parenting and work towards an intentional parenting. Oftentimes when you hear, in fact, it happens majority of the time when the child is brought to the hospital and the child has injuries and you're asking the mother that what happened, or you're asking the carer that what happened to this child, they give you stories. And when you listen to the stories and you're correlating it with what with the injuries the child has, you're seeing that there's no correlation. She hit her head on on the wall. She mistakenly fell inside hot water. And I'm like, mistakenly, how old? A 6 year old mistakenly fell inside hot water. So when she wanted to enter the hot water, it was not with her leg, it was with her back. You know, all those kind of theories and all sort of theory and stories that come around. And with more interrogation, you realize that it was actually the parents that inflicted the injury, and most of the time it was not intentional. I was very angry. I didn't mean to. Those are the words that usually come out from those parents. And a lot of apart from that, sometimes we overlook. I don't beat my children, but I shout at them. I don't beat my children, but I call them names. I remember that some parents, when they want to correct their child for doing something wrong, they would they would use the physical attributes of that child to correct the child. So, for example, a child, maybe a 13-year-old who's already getting tall and tall, and they're already calling the child tally or longy or something. So they just when the child does something, see how you are. That's why you are tall like that. See you, you're just tall. You don't have any sense. Those are things that parents might not see as big deal because they're not exactly inflicting a direct wound on the child, but these have implications for the child. Adolescents particularly, they have self-imaging problems because they're just getting to that adolescent years, and all of a sudden they're fat. All of a sudden they have pimples. All of a sudden they are tall. So they're not exactly ready for for the body changes that their body is giving to them. So they are still self-aware, they're still self-conscious, no matter how tall or no matter how beautiful you perceive the adolescent to be. The adolescent is not ready for all the physical changes, and physical changes obviously brings more attention to them, and this is not something majority of the adolescents they desire. So when this happens, you when parents now they are the ones that keep giving this adolescent tough time by calling him names or her names, calling her or him physical attributes names. They are adding to the self-imaging problem that these adolescents have, and this can impact on the self-esteem. So physical abuse and emotional abuse are two major aspects that parents usually usually do. These are things that parents usually do out of anger, and majority of the time when the implications are measured out or they are seen, a lot of time the words they say it was not intentional. So this training aims to equip everyone with skills of how to parent their child intentionally. So we've said that parenting is wonderful, parenting is great. You can impact the world through parenting, and it is not an easy task. It is not a walk in the park. It can be very challenging, and a lot of time parents do things out of anger. So we're going to be talking about intentional parenting, and I'm going to start with two things. First, if a child is father to a man, and a man is father to a child. A child is father to a man, and a man is father to a child. It simply means that it's a cycle. The child today is going to be the father tomorrow, and the father today is nurturing the father tomorrow. It's a cycle. Another thing I would like us to say is parenting is a two-way thing. Problems the parents have can affect the parenting. Problems the children have can affect parenting. So, for example, if a man has anger management problems or anger issues, the way he would react to the child breaking his favorite tumbler, will be different for a man or a woman who does not have anger problems. So the problems that existing in the parents affects the relationship between the parents and the child. And the same way, if a child too were to have an anger temperament, a very difficult temperament, it will be difficult for both the parents and the child to relate cordially. So, as a parent, how do you do intentional parenting? I have told us just now that parenting is a cycle. The child you're parenting today is going to parent another child tomorrow. So most of the time, the principles you're sharing, the principles that your family is based on, these children will share it in the long run. The same thing is another theory I'm trying to share with you is also that problems relationship between parents and children can be affected by the problems in each party. A parent with issues or problems in a parent will affect relationship between the parent and the child. Issues or problems in children too can affect the parenting style the parents will adopt. So the first question for any parent who's looking to intentionally parent their child is, how are you? Simple. People ask you how are you, and you may just say fine, but how you really are, how you feel, affects how you parent your children, how you nurture your children. Health. How do you feel physically? How are you? Are you always exhausted? How do you feel? Do you have pains? So because if you have pains, if you have physical health problems, it would affect your overall temperament. If there's a parent that is always having back pain, for example, and is not getting it fixed, is not I said fixed, is not treating the back pain, what will happen is the pain will make the parents more irritable. And for everything that child does, even if what the child was doing was supposed to be pleasant to the mother or to the father, is because the parent is just irritable. There's nothing the child can do about it. So how are you? Your physical and mental state. In fact, there is a study that shows that parents children of depressed mothers, or yeah, children of depressed mothers are more likely. In fact, the 1 in 10 of them die. Half of them have hospital admission. In fact, what the studies were just trying to say is children of depressed mothers are more likely to have physical health problems, and at the same time have conduct problems or relational problems with their parents. Because what is depression? Depression is low mood, low loss of pleasure in loss of pleasure in pleasurable activity, then low energy. So if someone who has low mood, there's nothing you do that is actually really funny. Someone who has stopped doing what they enjoyed before. So if the woman used to watch TV with her children at night, all of a sudden she's not doing it again. If she has low energy, she doesn't even have time. It's not that she doesn't have time, she doesn't have the energy to shout or to correct the children. So the children can actually get away with a lot of things. And irritability can also be part of her depression. So once in a while, when she's just wondering why did you do this, so she can react too much. She's feeling guilty for over some other things that in part of her depression. But all of these all together is going to impact on how she trains her children. So another prominent example is when a parent has anger issues or anger problems. A lot of times when parents, particularly fathers, when they beat their children, there are some fathers that there's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing, once it just comes back, you can't escape that beating. Not because the child is a bad child, it could be that the father has an anger problem. So if all of these things that are present in the parent are not checked, it will affect the relationship, the parenting styles adopted by this parent. So again, how are you? So if you're concerned about the way you're always yelling at your children, you're wondering, "Ah, why am I always yelling? Am I the only mother here?" You want to ask yourself, how am I rather? How am I? What you want to do a reality check on yourself. You want to check yourself if you're feeling all right. If there's anything that is bothering you, you want to seek help for yourself because you cannot parent children when you are not fine yourself. It will affect the children. It will affect your relationship with the children. It will affect the kind of parenting style you adopt. Again, I'm going to be talking about relationship. This second theory is about relational focus. Relational focus is building on the relationship between parents and children. And this relationship between parents and children is two-way. How the parents react to the child and how the child reacts to the parents. I have just said that how are you is the first way. How the parents react to the child is also dependent on how the parent is. So if a parent is not feeling well, the parents cannot relate to the child well. Again, how is the child? A child with a difficult temperament, there's nothing you do. He's always crying. If you give him food, he's crying. Do you want to sleep? No, crying. Everything is crying. That kind of child too would have the parents will have a tough time trying to parent that kind of child. So the child's temperament is there. Then another problem with this relationship could also be that what is wrong physically or mentally with this child. Some children have hearing impairment, so they can't hear, or children that can't talk. It's not because that the relationship between the parents and the child is not supposed to be estranged, so to say, but because the child estranged rather, because the child cannot communicate. So most times when the child is not able to pass a message that is very dear to them or that is very important at the time, they turn into anger because maybe they're just frustrated at the fact that they are not able to communicate their own needs. So the temperament of the child, the mental and physical state of the child also affects parenting. So if a child, for example, is not able to talk and the parent is having a tough time parenting the child, the problem is not even about the parenting. The first problem is how do we make this child able to talk? So a child who is not able to talk, you may want to visit a speech therapist who is not talking yet, so to say, to check to help with speech and also help with picture exchange. For example, if I have to if a child has to pee, a 4-year-old has to pee, and the child cannot communicate that I have to pee. But if the child can bring out a picture of the toilet and the mother says, "Oh, you want to pee?" then the mother nudges him towards the toilet or helps him unbuckle his shirt or something that is making going to toilets difficult at the time. You would realize that another form of communication. Using that picture to communicate the present need is a form of communication, and it will reduce irritability on the part of the child. This way, the parent is able to attend to the needs when it's very that when due, so that there's no frustration, or there's no so much agitation on the part of the child before the needs are met. Another thing that can affect parenting, relationship between parents and children, is also the assumptions parents have about children. Some parents have assumptions that children don't like wahala, they just want to play with you. No, children actually like wahala. Children like to play. Children like your attention. They want your attention. So, and they want to get it whether through a positive means or a negative means. So if you're busy and your child wants to play with you, your child can start jumping on the chair. You are seeing that as, what kind of thing is that? Will you get off that chair? No. But what the child wants is your attention. So you've been on the laptop since the child wants to play. You're not listening to the child. The child is just on his own. To get your attention, the child starts jumping on the chair. And all of a sudden, you remember that the child is there. And why are you there? That's why you there has reinforced it that, oh, anytime mommy is working and I need her attention, I just need to do something that she would not like. Maybe I will increase the volume of the TV and start dancing or start jumping on the chair. So children enjoy attention. So when you don't give them attention, they will seek it whether through a positive way or a negative way. They can jump on your chair. They're not concerned about the chair is dirty or anything. They want your attention. Another assumption about children is that maybe if I tell this child that this thing is not so good, you can reason with children. You cannot exactly reason with children. The psychology of children, less than, okay, I would be categorizing children as I go further, but right now I'm talking about children from 1 year to about 5 to 6 years old. So when you're trying to when you're saying that you should don't wear these red clothes to so place, and your child is throwing a tantrum and she just wants to wear that clothes, and you're trying to say, let me tell you, see, red is not such a, most times children, they don't even understand the psychology of children at that stage. Is still within that, they don't have that logical reasoning yet. So they are just within gratification. What I want immediate gratification for it. So you cannot exactly reason with children, and that's why you cannot have a democracy in your house that, oh, whatever, whoever wins or the majority carries the vote. No, or maybe let me be very fair. The parents of young children are supposed to be very firm in giving out their instructions. The way we look at very firm also differs. Some people are very firm, while some people are just firm, and some people are not firm at all. Depending on the age of your child, you would have to define what you call firm. I'll get to age of children and how it affects parenting later, but I just want us to clear some assumptions. Another assumption is that uh, children don't want to challenge their parents. Children, in the psychology of children challenge authority. So when you say yes and your child say no, it's not because your child just wants to say no. It is part of their development to challenge you. So if you are always giving in, what you are trying to tell them is whether the situation is right or wrong. As long as they challenge the person, we can always cave in. In fact, it's one of the theories that I'll later discuss. That children usually call, so that there are some parents that the children have labeled their threats as empty. They have empty threats. Mommy cannot do it because every time mommy says that I will beat you if you go there, I'll beat you if you go there. She doesn't beat. She just say you this boy, you this. So all these kind of things affect parenting. Assumptions about children affect parenting. Also, age of the child. In As the child develops, in fact, from day 1 to 11 months, 11 months, children seek immediate gratification. So when they are hungry, they are hungry. There's no If they are hungry, they start crying. But a 5-year-old won't start crying almost immediately that I'm hungry, I'm hungry, except if the child has not eaten all day. A 5-year-old will not cry. There's already self-soothing techniques developed by the 5-year-old. But for the 11 or 4 month old, they want food now. They want to eat now. They feed or they food in their diaper. They want it changed immediately. So there's immediate gratification. As children grow older, they kind of reduce the immediate gratification, and other psychological developments also occur between 1 and 2. In fact, between 2 and 3, they call it terrible twos. The children learn to say no. So that's when you say, do you want rice? No. This child has not eaten since morning. No, before saying yes. It is actually one of the psychological development children undergo. It is essential for them to be able to live independent lives. However, because they are always saying no at this stage, a lot of parents just leave them. They kind of cave in. This At this stage, despite the fact that they are saying no, parents must also be able to ensure that the best decisions are upheld at all times. So if you want your child to eat rice at a particular time and your child is saying no, she wants Ribena, giving Ribena is reinforcing that attitude that anytime I don't want something, I keep saying no, to throw a tantrum and mommy will cave in. The At that stage, even the fact that they're saying no does not mean that you always have to give them what they want. As they grow older, by age 5, the attitude of saying no is reduced, but there's another attitude of almost challenging you. At this stage, they're able to form words that you yourself you can't remember that you would have gotten carried away. That is that like just like I just said that they're able to form words, form sentences, and talk well. So at age 5, there's a possibility that your child challenges some of the things you want to do. So we'll later get to how to effectively correct your children and the principles that you want to do. But as much as possible, you want to know that between 1 and 3, the child at the early stage of when they are talking, they say no first before yes. So it's possible that you're having a tough time. But whatever you're doing, you please ensure that you're ensuring that the right things are upheld at all times. At age 4 to 5, they are able to construct more better English, better sentences, they're able to talk better. So they're able to challenge some of the things that they could not challenge at 2 when they're just saying no. So at 3, 4, 5, they're able to do this. At age 7 to 9, they're supposed to be calmer because they now have friends. They are now able to understand things to a large extent. Also, this at this stage between 7 and 9, another assumption is that you're already assuming that this child is a big girl. So the way you correct her, you want to correct her the way you are going to correct a 25-year-old. Why did you do that kind of thing? A lot of times when you even shout at the child, you're not talking at almost the same tone that you would talk normally. The fear of the noise will make them forget what you actually told them to do. We're going to eventually get to a step-by-step method of correcting children and talking to children. But I just want to highlight the different developmental milestones, psychological milestones that these children undergo at this age. Between 7 and 9, children are supposed to be more calmer, they're supposed to listen to you better. But this is dependent on how you were training them before age 7. If you were a caver, for example, if you were the kind of parent that if your child says, I want this, I don't want this, I don't want this, and she cries, you say, okay, come and take. By the time the child is age 7, she's still building on that thought that if I cry or if I throw some tiny tantrum, mommy will cave in. But at 7 years old, she's not able to she's not able to throw so much tantrum. The 7-year-old cannot be crying unduly because they know it's not they would have outgrown that stage. But at this stage, it also means that when you say they should do something, will you go and wash the plates? They may not really, they may not answer, not because they want to be exactly disobedient, but because they know that even if they don't wash it, there's nothing, you don't really beat them or when you say you beat them. or you don't take away the toys that they like when you say you're going to take it away. So they're not there's a possibility that between 7 and 9 they still seem like they're not so obedient, depending on the way you've been training them before age 7 and 9. So another milestone is between 10 and 13. Between 10 and 13 is when they enter GS1 and you are expecting so much from them. GS1 is our high school here. So you're expecting so much from them. You're not a big boy. Don't you know you're supposed to do this? Don't you know you're supposed to do this? Must I say all these things to you again? We've forgotten that even for us, we do to-do lists. We've forgotten that even for us, we have to constantly remind ourselves of the things we're supposed to do. So there's a possibility that at this stage as an adolescent, and at 10 to 13 is the early part of adolescence, and the early part of adolescence is characterized by growth sprouts. The child is just getting some physical changes, sudden physical changes. That is also characterized by hormonal changes that can cause irritability in them. So at this stage, there is a possibility that the child is just overwhelmed and the child is not listening, is not concentrating so much as you want the child to be. Because there's also a great thing with parents is when a child is already in secondary school, you expect so much from them, but then that they still don't have the cognitive capacity to give the much task you want them to be able to perform. They can't give it. So between 10 and 13, the children, they're becoming adolescent. And another very lovely thing about adolescent is the fact that they will challenge you. Adolescence comes with the fact that they now understand that you are just another human being. At just before adolescence, children kind of worship their parents. My mommy said that is very common with children less than 10. My mommy said that. My mommy said that. My mommy said that. By the time children are between 10 and 13, they're able to understand, they are able to see their parents for who they really are. So all those times that you'll be saying, you not brush your teeth before you sleep. Now they know that you don't brush your teeth twice daily because they now know the difference. All those times when you say, tell mommy Junior that I'm not around. When you see mommy Junior, don't tell her that I'm around. All those things that you've been saying that they did not know the implication. By 10, 13, they now understand that mommy was actually lying. All those times when you were not able to model the appropriate behavior, they now know the difference between what you tell them to do and who you really are. So model parenting is a very essential part to parenting. This may be another topic for another day, but it simply means that whatever you want your child to do, you do it, not say it. There should be more of doing than saying. So these are just basically developmental milestones. So if you have a child for at age 13 and you're having a tough time telling him to do what to do, telling him what to do and all of that, yes, it's part of his development. Although it's also dependent on how you've been training this child before that time. So at that time, yes, they may be having some issues with getting along with authority because it's also part of the development to challenge authority. They may be having part of those issues, but how you address the problem now eventually affects the overall outcome. If you are that parent that you want a particular and apart from, it's not that they just want to challenge you, it's just part of their development. They don't take norms for it. I remember that as an adolescent, that was when I stopped taking muscles at night. My father loves muscles at night, so my mother makes muscles at night. Growing up, we ate muscles at night. As an adolescent, I told them I was not eating it again. It's part of it. The challenge, adolescents challenge already existing protocols. And you'll be wondering, but you've been doing these things all these years. That was those years when she was not grown. That was those years when he was not grown. Now that he's grown, he doesn't want it again. Another thing now with adolescents is they want to be with their peers more than they are with their parents. So after school, they may stay in front of the house. They're supposed to enter the house. They may stay in front of that, just with their friend for like 30 minutes before coming in. And you're like, you've been back since. Don't you know you're supposed to do your assignment? Your younger brother is this. You also have to understand that this is the stage for peer involvement. They prefer to be with their peers, not because they hate you. It's just part of the development. They have to be with their peers more than they have to be with you. And now they don't want you barging into their room. All those days when you just badge, Kehinde, where is it? Where's the book I told you to bring? No, it's not allowed now. They will not allow you. In fact, they would practically almost challenge you. And at this stage, a lot of parents have plenty issues with their with their children. Sometimes they now become, but I'm your father in this house. The child is not saying that you're not his father, but you can't just enter my room anyhow. Knock before you enter. But in this part of the world, it's easy for us to we're not able to take this aspect of development so well because we believe that we own children. She is my child. I am your father. I know you're my father. So what I'm just trying to say is because we believe that we own children, children are they belong to us, so we can influence everything about them. At this stage, at the adolescent stage, is actually a very tough time for a lot of Nigerian parents. I realize that we've taken up over. I've been talking for over 25 minutes, and I have over 100 questions to attend to. There's a possibility that we have to break these questions into two, then send you another link for like in a week's time, another link for us to be able to discuss this all the questions one after the other, because I have over 100 here, and I would love to answer all the questions. So as I was saying, the age of the child is also essential for the kind of parenting styles that you'll be employing. So for a parent who has three children, for example, one is 12, one is 6, one is 3. Parenting style is not general for all of them. The one that is 12 wants you to understand there's you cannot be shaped. You have to understand the 12-year-old, that this 12-year-old wants to be with his friends. So one of the good things about this situation is that once you're even able to understand what does your child likes at this age, it would help you to be able to modify the kind of reward and punishment you'll be giving them. So just before we go there, I hope I've been able to talk well about the age of the children. And if you have your child older than the ages I've mentioned, you can send it me through the group chat. Then another principle in parenting is that we've talked about the state of the parents. We've talked about the relationship between the parents and the child. We've said that I have discussed that the relationship between the child and the parent is dependent on how the parent is and how the child is, both of which would affect the relationship between them. How are you? Are you feeling all right? Do you have anger issues? And anger issues is not something that you just have with your children. You would have it with your spouse, you'd have it with your colleagues. So what are your colleagues saying about you? Do you get angry easily? How do you respond when you are angry? Are you one of those who lash out, insult, physical abuse and all things in that area? Is that what you do? Are you depressed? Are you anxious about something? All of these situations have a way of affecting the relationship between parents and children. And also the mental health or physical health of a child also affects the relationship between parents and children. So if a child is depressed, the child most likely will be irritable, particularly for teenagers when they are depressed. Irritability is a major marker as opposed to low mood. So they are more irritable. We cannot talk to them. The child is almost fighting you back or something. You also have to put all of that into consideration in trying to parent your child. And I've also told you that parenting three children of different ages require different techniques. You cannot say that that's the way you talk to your 12-year-old. The things you give your 12-year-old is the same way you treat your 6-year-old and your 3-year-old. They have different um, psychological developments and correlates. So you cannot parent them the same way. Okay, so a lot of the questions had to do with discipline, and discipline and intentional parenting is very they're intertwined, because a lot of the manifestation of an unintentional parent or an unintentional parenting is in is in the way they discipline the child. So As I go further, I'll be talking across all ages, and I'm hopeful that you'll be able to pick the ones that are close to the age of your child. If you want to discipline your children, there are three techniques or about five techniques I'll be talking about. The first one is effective command. How old is your child? Then how do you talk to your child? You want to tell a 3-year old to pick up a toy, and a toy is, let's say, in a dining, which is about meters away, and you are in the kitchen, and because you just walked past it, and you're like, so as you're walking past it, you just call your daughter, Aisha, go and pick your toy in the dining. Aisha is not in the sitting room. Aisha is maybe in at the entrance somewhere, so meters away from you. You are expecting that Aisha heard you and she will go and pick up her toy. No, that is not an effective command. An effective command is you coming to the level of your child. The first place is, where is your child? For a 3-year-old, 4-year-old, they're just getting to the development where they hear things across rooms. A 2-year-old, for example, may not, okay, 2-year-old to 2, 3, 4, they're just getting to the development where they can hear their names, hear them, you talking to them across walls. So if you are talking to a 3-year-old to come and pick up a toy meters away from where she is, that is not effective. There's a possibility that that child does not hear you, and there's a possibility that that child does not take you serious. So if you want Aisha or Bisola to come and pick up a toy, you simply go to where Bisola is. And you don't talk standing up, and Bisola is just almost half of your eyes, and you're saying, Bisola, go and take up your toy. I said, go and take up your toy. You go to Bisola's last level, almost eye level, and say, Bisola, pick up your toy. A lot of parents, most likely at this point, will be laughing at me. That how many times do I now have to tell Bisola to pick up her toy? Do you know how toddlers put things all around the house? Another thing is, you have to, at the age, depending on the age of your child, you have to be able to have hierarchy of rules. What are the most important things in this house? What are the things that if I see make me really, really angry? So you can make the list of those things out. I don't know how your house is, so I can't help you make that list. But let us just assume that you have 3 children, 12, 6, well, 12, 9. Let's say you have 4. You have, or maybe let's use 11. 11, 9, 7, and 3. You have 4 children. So when they come back from school, most of the time, the 7 and 3, they usually drop their bags in the sitting room. Most likely, the 11 and 9, they're bigger children. They take their things to the room. But all of them walk through this living room to their room with their shoes coming from outside. So, as a parent, what annoys you more is not even the bags in the sitting room, is that you see patches of sand, footsteps going into the room. So, what's the most annoying thing for you? Put up your shoe when you come in. So, you make the rule, put off your shoes as you come in. Because they have been doing this for years, and you just watch this video, you now go tomorrow and say, put off your shoes, and now you are no longer, you couldn't know that you're supposed to put off your shoes. Now you now want to tell them to put off their shoes. You cannot expect people to change, or you cannot expect children to change their habits in one day. So let's also assume that all the while they've always worn their shoe, and you've always had terrible times trying to talk them into it. You've even beaten them over it sometimes. So let us try a 1 week routine. So you pick them up from school. Let's assume you pick them up from school, or they come in through from the bus, but they meet you at home every time. Scene one. Let's say that the first scene is that you pick them from school. So if you pick them from school as you're coming home, you're just in the car. How was your school? How was school today? How was class today? Hey, did you guys learn any rhyme? Do you want to teach us for the 3-year-old? Do you want to teach us? Or maybe you were on the phone talking to your clients all the while. Or maybe you were doing something else, but as you're close to the house, you tell them, kids, make sure you pull off your shoes at the entrance. There's no need to shout. Kids, make sure you pull off your shoes at the entrance. You know you bring so many dirts in. Do you know that you can just at that point talk about the implication? As you alight from the car and you call each of them to pick up their things, kindly put off your shoes at the entrance. Then, when you come in again, you are in your room and you've ensured and they've entered and you see that all of them pull up their shoes. Then say thank you for pulling up your shoes. Oh, I like the way you put up your shoe today. I hope you do that tomorrow. The 5 year old you can give, the 3 year old you can do an I five. The 7 year old you can do a hug. Then the 12 year old might not need so much reward, but just acknowledge that they have done the right thing. That way, you have been able to highlight which one is the most distressing situation of either messing up the living room or with their bags or putting the shoes or walking in with their shoes. So you still have the living room problem and you still don't want them to put their bags in the living room. So week one, you have talked about shoes. Well, we are still leaving the bags in the living room. We're hoping that they'll get there someday. So week one, they've been able to consistently throughout that week put their shoes outside. You acknowledge it. You don't just say that, and they're not supposed to know that they're supposed to put their shoes outside. Must I be telling them thank you for everything? No, acknowledge it for every good thing that you're able to make your child do. Acknowledge it. I've realized that in the past 1 week, you guys have been putting your shoes outside. That's great. Good work, guys. It might just be an I five. Acknowledge it. These things may seem very funny that, hey, look at this girl. You don't know the kind of things that I'm coming on. That's why it's intentional. You're not doing it that I have work to do, I have this to do. At work, in fact, for those who sell stuff, you put up, I don't know, for those who have social media pages and they're trying to sell things to their clients, you put up pictures every day, you do promos, all of those things are geared towards you making sales. So why are you not doing things directly towards making your children listen to you, which is going to help both of you in two ways. One, it's going to help you stop shouting, because shouting is actually a big deal. It's going to help you to stop shouting and yelling at them. And two, it's going to help them respect you more, because the moment your child already knows that you just start shouting. They just say, "Mommy, I've come again. What did you do? Mm. Okay, sorry. Are you not supposed to?" And they say, "Mommy, sorry, mommy, sorry, mommy, sorry. We'll not do that again," because they just want you to stop shouting. So effective command is for you to come to the level of your child and know that this is what you want to tell your child. You're not talking to you. In fact, even for adolescents, you want adolescents to wash plates, sweep the house, because for adolescents you have more chores for the child. You want the adolescent to wash plates, sweep the house, make dinner before you come back. And you are saying all of this from your own room to the adolescent in his own room. And when you go out, don't forget, oh, you lock the door. Ow. You don't know if he heard you at all. For all you know, he could be sleeping. He could be in the toilet. He could say that he didn't hear you at all. So, effective command, one of the first steps in effective command is you have a physical, you're talking to your child physically, not across rooms or across walls. You're talking to your child physically on the same level. You want your 3 year old to pick up toys, you tell your 3 year old, pick up the toy. No shouting, calm, um how there's this CCQ we use, calm, close, and quiet. You're not shouting, you're not angry, you're not all of these things. I'm sure that it's going to be like, what? How am I going to do that? Do you know how difficult it is? That is why it is called intentional parenting. You are doing this intentionally. You know what you are doing, not that you're just acting out of, don't you know you're supposed to do this? You are doing it intentionally. So you are going to talk to the child in a close range, in a calm manner, and quietly. One of the reasons the close range is essential is so that you are sure that your child heard you. Calm in the sense that calm is essential because you don't want to have said something in so much noise. Will you come and shout, get out of that place? You have shouted at the child, and the child is overwhelmed with the noise that She's all, oh my, and she did not hear the later verse. Then quiet makes it slow. Your child is able to hear and see your lips move. Not, will you pick up the clothes? What did mommy just say? I did not even hear. Huh, what did mommy say? And she can't go back to come and tell you that, mommy, what did you say? Because she knows that she may get it stand for that. So the first one is effective command, close, calm, and quiet. Another way you can also do this is over and over again. You keep talking about it. So remember how I said that you have to pick up the rule concerning pulling off the shoes. You said it in the morning as they were going out. You are going out now. You're wearing your shoe outside. Don't wear this shoe. Make sure you put it off when you're coming in. You said it in the morning. When you're picking them up, kids, make sure you pull off your shoes at the entrance. You know, mommy doesn't like the sand that it brings in. It's so much work sweeping the sand. As they're about to open the gate, you say the same thing. If it's the school bus that brought them, in the morning you say it. In the afternoon when they come back, please put off your shoes. If you now realize that, oh, I'm not usually around when all of this happens, you can put a scaffold outside. You can just pull off shoes at the door. Come, in fact, no story. Every time in the morning, did you see this? Pull off your shoes. It also helps you with visitors too. So if visitors, I don't know that they want you want them to pull up their shoes. They pull up their shoes when they see the sign. So do the same thing for your children. Another thing you can do for your children is tactful praise. So you have told your child to pull off their shoes at the entrance, and they pulled it off, and you just straight face, you went to your room and do whatever you were doing or whatever you wanted to do. How about high five for the 3-year-old, fist bump for the 7-year-old, and a hug for the 9-year-old, and you say maybe a good boy for the 12-year-old? Even though we may eventually say that good boy is not such a good reward. So tactful praise. When your child does what you want, you are happy. You're not just happy that in your mind, you let them know that you are happy with what they have done. That's why I said good boy is not such a good thing. I'm happy that you put off your shoes. Oh, you put off your shoes out there. Good. It is intangible, but it's essential. The same way we like thank you and sorry, you're welcome. All those tiny, tiny gestures, they don't make us fatter or slimmer. Slimmer. Well, they don't make us fatter or slimmer. They don't make us taller. They don't make us more pretty. But then it makes us feel good and makes us feel like were the person we did whatever we did for appreciated it. The same thing with tactful praise for children. So when they do what you like, give them a high five, reward them with a peck, and those tiny things that you're doing will consequently improve relationship between you and your child knows that mommy loves me. The same thing with when you tell your child to stop a particular behavior. For example, you've been working on your laptop for over 1 hour, you're doing so many things, you're cooking at the same time, and your child was just there. You told your child to do your assignment. Mommy, I finished my assignment. Then you sit down there, be watching TV. But this child wants your attention, so the child is jumping on the on the couch. Why are you jumping there? That's what we would normally do because we are overwhelmed with plenty of work that we're doing. But something we can do is, Bisola, stop jumping. And Bisola stops. And we pretend like we didn't see Bisola stop jumping. No, tactful praise is also not just for when they do what you want, even when they do what you want, which is positive, even when they now stop doing what you don't want, you also have to show them you have stopped jumping, you're a good girl. You have to ensure that whatever they have done, you mentioned it. It's not just that, good girl. Mm-mm. You have stopped jumping, good girl. Those are that's what tactful praise is all about. You acknowledging the good things your child has done. This way, when you are punishing, which we will get there, your child knows that it's not that mommy hates me. Because most of the time, children get so much attention when they are doing the wrong thing as opposed to when they are doing the right thing. That day when she pulled off her shoe at the door, that you did not say you did not say, you pulled off your shoe. That day when she was when she arranged her books in the right place, you did not say anything. It is the day she did not put it off that you did not say that you are such a dirty girl. You are such a so girl. You are and she was like, but for the past 2 weeks, I've been pulling up my shoe. Didn't mommy see that I was pulling up my shoe? Somebody cannot forget something. Those are the kind of things that usually go in the mind of children. And I'm sure that the majority of us too have had this confusing situations that, but I was doing this thing right 2 weeks ago. You didn't say anything, just this one day, and you're making this much noise. So, as much as possible, ensure that for any good thing that your child does, appreciate it. It's one of the it's also a major thing in model parenting. You want your children to say thank you to you when when you give them something. But when they do things that are right, you don't tell them thank you. So how do you expect them to say thank you? So you have to be able to praise your child whenever they do things that you like. So if your child pulls off a shoe outside, thumbs up, high five, let's do high five, fist bump, things like that. If your child, if you corrected your child that stop jumping and your child stops, acknowledge it. In fact, if for example your child littered the whole sitting room or the whole living room and you say, Bisola, pick up all your books, we're talking about 20 books on the floor, crayons everywhere. We're talking about plenty things on the floor. And you say, Bisola, pick up your books, clear this sitting room. And Bisola starts and picks up one, two, three. Tactful praise. You also praise the child at that time. You're doing what mommy said. Ah, mommy loves you, mommy's girl. Hug and you let her continue what she's doing. Because you want to reinforce that habit that when mommy says you should do something, it is a good thing, not a punishment. Pack your books, Joe. You'll just be doing things. Oh God. Let me just pack this book before mommy come and shout on me. So as much as possible, make sure that what you're doing when you correct your child is not seeing it as mommy does not like me. When your child does anything right, when anything that he or she when anything that you like, make sure that you're rewarding them through tactful praise, good girl, high five, fist bump, and things like that. Another thing is you don't wait, as I said, it's not that a child now she does the right thing now. You did not acknowledge it. Oh. Maybe 2 days later, you now buy sweet for her. She's not thinking, that day you did what I told you today. This is the sweet. No, whatever you want to give your child, it should be immediate. Then another thing with effective command, we together with tactful full praise is that you can have a concept of work then. Mommy, I want to eat rice. No. Mommy, I want to watch TV. No. Have you read your book? Go and read your book, John. No. It's not that you don't want him to read to watch the cartoon, but you want the child to read, then do whatever you have to do. So if your child comes back from school, for example, if you're the kind of parent that likes them doing the assignments immediately, so one of the things what you can do is when you're back from school, do your assignments, then you can watch TV. Not that watch TV, then come and do your assignments. No. If what you want is for them to do their assignments, you want them to wash your plates, then play soccer. What play football. Watch do your assignment, then watch cartoon. Clean your room, then play volleyball. Do this, then what you want exactly, do it first so that it can be a reward, a reinforcement. Not that it will now seem like bribe. Okay, go and watch TV first when you finish watching TV. Because this one you don't even let me rest it. Oh yeah, go and watch TV. When you finish watching the TV, come and do your assignment. So every time they want something, they'll just throw tiny tantrums. They will not let you rest and you'll say, okay, go and do the thing. No. You ensure that whatever you want them to do, they do it first, then and all these things there's not supposed to be so much noise about it. As I said, as I initially I was saying that how old is your child? For a 3 year old now, a 3 year old wants attention, a 3 year old wants toy. So if you told a 3 year old that paint your assignment, maybe the assignment was to paint and she was to color, yeah, to color, and she's not listening. And you say if you color, you can do two ways. If you color your assignment, mommy will play with you. That is a reward. You can also now do another one, as if you don't color, mommy will take away all your toys. That's the punishment. The first one is a reward. Mommy will play with you. These two things that I've just mentioned, they are popular for 3-year-olds. But mommy will play with you for 12-year-old. 12-year-old that does not even want mommy around. So why are you telling me that mommy will play with me? I don't even want mommy to play with me. But you say that you do your assignment, then you can go to your friend's place and watch the EPL. I'm like, really, mommy? They're still doing the assignment because that is what they want. So, as I said, you have to know how old is your child, what are the things children of that age like, what does your child like? You would have analyzed all of these things. These things can seem difficult, but as I said, if you were selling a product on Instagram, you will do sales, you will do what's it called, adverts, you would tag people. All of these things that you've been doing are geared towards you making more sales. So you can as well do more things in your parenting. Work harder as opposed to working loud. Loud is what we know how to do, shouting and maybe beating. But work harder in your parenting as opposed to working loud. So that's about that concerning children and parenting that I would like to share. The last thing I would like to share is how to ignore bad behavior. So your child is always making you yell at him. You're always shouting. You're always doing this. So you can take a weekend off. You want to do a weekend to know what your child likes. This would apply to all ages. You can take a weekend. You're always shouting, and you're tired of it. Great. This weekend, you can decide that this weekend I'm not going to shout. I'm not going to do anything. But you want to see what does your child like? What does your child enjoy? You note it. What does your child do that annoys you the most? You note it. Annoys you the most. I remember I said I annoys you the most because a lot of us we want plenty rules in our house. Pull off your shoes, pack your clothes, do your assignment. Plenty rules like that. You man, you are not. How many rules did you live by that day? Traffic rules, if even maybe you drove past it. So you want plenty rules in your house, and it's not. Some of them are not. They are not. They are not important to you, but you just want it. For example, some of us want our children to bathe twice daily. We don't bathe twice daily. We don't bathe twice daily, but you want your child to bathe twice daily. You want your child to brush teeth twice daily. Is it very important? But for some families, it is important. Maybe the parents do it. Okay, so that's great. Some of us want our children to be eating vegetables. You don't want them to be drinking sweet things, but you like Coke. So your child can only mirror you. In fact, one of the things we do we say one of the popular sayings here is that in my class is that children are a window to the family. The children mirror the situations, the parents and the parents, the situations of the family structure. Children mirror it. They are a window into that family. So you cannot have plenty rules. So you have to know what annoys you the most. What can you not tolerate in your house? You have to slate that house. So we're saying this weekend you want to know what your child likes. You want to know what annoys you the most. Then you want to know what's it called? You have identified what your child likes. You have identified what annoys you the most. Then you want to identify the tiny things in the house that really do not matter, but you don't mind if they are corrected. So when these three things are done, you can now start. Coming Monday, the most annoying thing to you, if the most annoying thing to you is them, your children walking in with their shoes, you're not taking your children walking in with their shoes, fine. So you start, I do not, Sunday evening, you can have a chat with them and say that I don't want you putting your shoes. This is how mommy feels about it. That is a very calm, close, and quiet situation. So the children will actually know, mommy did not shout this and she did not like it. Though. So Monday, as they are going to school, remember what we discussed yesterday. Please do not wear your shoes in when you're coming in. When you pick them from school or maybe the school bus, and before they came back, you already put a signpost. Well, I'm assuming that you're at home. If you're not at home, you took them to school, you said the same thing. When you're back, you said the same thing. Let's assume that they usually get back to meet a nanny and you're not around and you come back to meet them. And so when you get back, you realize that there are no shoes outside, there are no sands in the room, or maybe you just ask the little one, did you pull off your shoe outside? Did you wear your shoes in? Or maybe you saw the shoes. You can call all of them. I told you to pull off your shoes when you're coming in. You don't have to be angry that day because it's the first day you are applying something new. Close, calm, and quiet. This is the first time you are applying it. So the next day you say it again. You keep saying, you keep saying, you keep saying like this. You are reinforcing it. You're going to be making sure that they heard what you said, and you're not shouting. With time, you can attach a reward to it. Whoever pulls off their shoe 7 times a week, that is throughout the whole week, you can assign that that person is going to have a bar of chocolate. So it can be a competition amongst them. Ah, I want a bar of chocolate. And bar, I'm assuming that bar of chocolate is one of the things your children like. So that weekend, this weekend that you've tried to look for what your children like, you'll be able to give rewards that are appropriate. So you don't tell a 12-year-old that if you do this, I would I don't know what kind of thing I can say. Maybe for a 12-year-old, you say that if you don't do what I told you to do, I'll send you to your room. A 12-year-old, please send me to my room. Please send me to my room. Because they actually want autonomy. They want to be by themselves. So you're sending a 12-year-old to his room is a good thing. But you're sending a 3-year-old to the room. It's not a good thing because the 3-year-old still wants your attention. So the 3-year-old will cry a lot. So you would see that, oh yes, this three, you're giving rewards and punishment that is appropriate for each age. So lastly, how to ignore bad behavior. How to ignore bad behavior. So you've been typing on your phone or you've been doing something in the kitchen and your child has been making noise or has been playing a plastic ball in the room, which can be destructive. Or maybe yeah, it's just doing something you don't want. So the first thing is you ignore the behavior, not the child. So you don't give the child eye contact. You ignore the behavior, not the child. So it's not like as if so I told you to stop, you not stop at you now enter the room. Yeah, ignoring that one is ignoring the child. But if you are in the same place, in the same sitting living room, and the child is playing with something that you don't like, and you're not giving the child out eye contact, as I said, children love attention. By children, I'm referring to 5-year-old and less. 7-year-old to nine, they like your attention a little, but 10-year-old and above don't want your attention. They want to be there by their own. They want to be by their laptop. They want to be by their phone or with their friends. So they don't want your attention. So if a child, most likely less than 5, is doing something you don't like, you can be in the same room with this child and not give eye contact. Another thing is you do not talk or touch the child. You don't talk to the child. So if you're not giving eye contact, for example, you can be doing that. I say stop that thing. But if you don't look at the child, you don't talk, you're doing something else. You have to also distract yourself because you can get overwhelmed with anger and just stand up and beat the child all of a sudden. So you can get a magazine and you can read. As I said, children like attention. So if whatever they are doing is not bringing them attention, if anything, it is making you ignore them, they would stop. So if the child notices that mommy is not even sending me, or mommy does not look at me, mommy is not looking at me, or mommy is not looking at me, the child will stop that thing. And when the child stops, you can reinforce the behavior by giving tactful praise. As I said, you can do an high five, you can give a hug, you can give a peck. These are ways that you can do. These are things that you can do to reduce a lot of noise on your part and a lot of mommy cannot do. And as I said, when you have to follow through. When you say that if you do this thing, I will give you this, you have to give. If you say that if you do this thing again, for example, if you do your assignment, I'll give you a popcorn. I'll give you a pack of popcorn. You have to follow through. So not that the child will finish assignment. Is it not for your own good? Is it not for your own good? Or if you say that if you stop crying, I'll take you to Mr. Biggs tomorrow. That is big. And the child stops crying. and you do not take the child to Mr. Biggs tomorrow. Next time when the child is crying, and you say, if you stop crying, I'll give you biscuits. The child stops crying, you do not give biscuits. Next time the child is crying again, if you stop crying, I'll give you sweets. She will never stop because she knows that you're a liar. I remember one of my lecturers was sharing a situation that happened in a supermarket, that the child was crying and crying and crying. So the lady intervened and said, "What's wrong with you?" She said, "I want maybe the child wants something," and she did not. Don't worry, your mommy will buy it for you. And maybe the mother too said that I told him I was going to buy it. Your mommy said she was going to. My mommy is a liar. The boy said my mommy is a liar because the mother has had an issue of always saying that I will do, and not doing it. The same way if you say I will beat you, even though spanking has different people have different ways that they accept spanking. Some people don't spank their children at all. Some people spank, but I believe that whatever you're doing should not be in anger, and it should be proportionate. You cannot be beating a 13-year-old as if you want to kill him. What's the point of beating a 13-year-old? There's no point. A 3-year-old might annoy you, but are you spanking out of annoyance or for correction? So if you want to spank the child, for example, if you don't stop jumping um, on that chair, I'm going to spank you. The child keeps jumping. You did not spank first thing. The next day, you you say if you don't do this, I'll spank. If you do this again, I'll spank you. You don't spank. They already know your mom is an empty threat. There's nothing is she said she will just say I will spank you. She's not going to spank you. So you have to follow through. If you're saying you're going to give something, you have to give. If you're saying that you're going to spank, you have to spank, particularly when they don't stop that thing. So if you told a child that if you don't stop jumping in 5 minutes, you also have to give time. It's not like as if stop jumping right now, yes, I'll spank you. No, you can give time. Except if the thing the child is doing is really dangerous. So you want to say that is dangerous, stop it right now. So you can say that. But if it's not dangerous, so the child jumps. If you jump again, I will spank you. The child jumps again, you spank. But I'm not saying slap, beat, and inflict serious injury. Spanking can just be in areas where there's it's not visible. You can spank in the bum bum and things like that. Not slap. Slap the child that the child cannot hear anything for few seconds. What's the point? You don't beat your child to the point where you are now overwhelmed with emotions that you can't even remember what the child did, or after which you now come back and you start begging the child. Whatever you're doing must be there must be a correlate. So I'm going to go to questions now. Hey, God, this is so we've spent so much time, and I'm thinking that we can break these questions. So I'll answer about 20 questions. Let me see. I'll answer about 20 questions, and I would get I'll check the time again to see how long that will take us, and I'll hopefully we'll be able to cover majority of the questions seem to be like they're occurring and occurring. And again, parenting is not something that you do one off. All the things we learned concerning parenting are things that were instilled on us by our parents. We watched in Nollywood. We saw our seniors, our older aunties do to their children. We saw our friends do to their children. Then we are doing it. This is years of learning several methods of training children. So if you want to change, you have to unlearn all of these and relearn new things. And this is not going to be through a 1 hour program. So actually this is supposed to be like a monthly thing, but I will send you a message via your email. Most likely that's how you're getting this. That's how you got this link. So you'll be able to follow through our different steps. All the things I said today, we're supposed to actually have models for it and have a have a have a what's it called have a role like a role play for it. Okay, so let me go through the questions. The first question, Okay. The first question is by Amina. She said that she wants to be able, what she would like to change in her parenting is to be able to correct a child without feeling bad about it, and the child does not take, apparently the child does not take correction well. She's very emotional, and it breaks her heart when she sees her cry. The child is 10 year old. The first thing is, what what exactly are you correcting your child for? Your 10-year-old child most likely is way calmer than your toddler. So there's a possibility that your 10-year old will not be annoying you as much as she was annoying you when she was 3. So you have to bring out, you have to do a self check, as I said. Do a self check. You may take a week to study your child. What does she like? What are the things she does that are most annoying to you? Things that you cannot take. What are those two things? When you are able to analyze those two things, then you analyze your own self personally. How am I? Am I depressed? Am I? Do I have any an issue that I have to work out with? Do I have any anger problem that I'm supposed to work it out? Then basically, what does your child do that annoys you the most? Write those out. When you are able to write that out, then you now look for ways to correct them. She's 10, so I'm trying to remember what a 10-year-old can do that is most annoying. I don't know. I don't know what a 10-year-old can do that is most annoying to you, but list it out, the most annoying things to you. And for a 10-year-old, it's easy for you to even talk to her now. But you can begin to reason with her. So you can tell her the things that annoy you the most that she does. So you can tell her about it. So she can even tell you that, oh, she didn't know, she didn't mean to. The 10-year-old is able to have that kind of conversation with you. And know that the 10-year-old is also at the early stage of adolescence. So you cannot be instilling all your, you must do this, you must do that, you must do this on the child. The child will resist a little. And apart from that, the child will also want more friends. And this part of the world, we don't even give opportunity for you to go and visit friends. What do you want to go and do there? Where is our mommy working? Where is our daddy working? All those kind of things too will affect. So you want to be able to correct her without feeling too bad about it. The first thing is, how are you correcting her? When she does something to you that is annoying to you, are you correcting what she did, or you are angry at what she did? Because most of the times we're angry, we're not trying to correct. If she, for example, was supposed to wash plates and she didn't wash plates, the she didn't wash plates at dinner, craftedly went to sleep and you did not know. And early in the morning, you're trying to rush for work, prepare her and her siblings for work, and you realize that plates were not washed yesterday night, and it's going to affect how, for me, I usually like that the zinc is clean before I start doing any cooking. And for a mother who's waking up at 6 to quickly do all of these things, it can be really annoying. So is it that time that you just go up and just beat her, or as you're driving her to school, you tell her that, Aisha, I realized that you did not wash plates yesterday night. You will wash today. You wash, for example, if she were the one that washes at night and maybe the sibling washes in the afternoon, you can punish her for that by washing in that afternoon and at night, and tell her that she must always wash plates at night, that it is really that you don't like it. At 10, you can easily tell her that you don't like this and all of that. Not that because she did not wash plates that night, you make her wash plates for 3 weeks long. Or better still, you at that point you went to beat her at the bed. Did I not tell you that you should be washing plates at night? If somebody now wants to wash plates in the morning, you will not let somebody. So she will cry, and you feel like, ah, I didn't mean it. You didn't mean to beat her, but you meant to correct her. So I don't know what she does exactly, but I can say that you can take a week to find out what annoys you the most and what she likes. So that way you can pair it. When she does something that you like, praise her, hug mommy, and things like that. If she does something that you don't like, you address the situation, what you don't like, tell her how you don't like it because she's 10. Then you can attach a punishment to it. I've told you these are the things mommy does not like. Every time you do this, I will take away so thing. Maybe she likes I don't know what 10-year olds like. Maybe she likes a particular thing, you can say that you take it away. Or better still, when she does, when if a week goes by and she does not do any of those things that annoy you the most, you're going to give her so thing, one of those things that she likes. It can be tangible or intangible. Tangible in the sense it can be gift, intangible can just be a hug or something. You have to know what your child likes and what your child does not like. So what your child does not like can be like a punishment. Your child does not like to iron clothes. Good. So if you don't wash plates at night, you will iron mommy and daddy's clothes in the following day. Great. She would remember to wash plates. So the second question is stubbornness. And she did not put the child name. Titilope wrote stubbornness and she did not put the child's name. As I said, it depends on the age of the child. If the child is between 2 and 3, yes, stubbornness is part of development. So the child will say no, say yes. But whatever is important to you, ensure that you ensure that it is done. You don't have to have 10 million rules in your house. In the morning when you wake up, you sweep, lay your bed, do this. No, make sure that the rules that you have are what are important to you. Do not put wet towels on the bed. It's much more important than when you wake up, lay your bed. No, putting wet towels on the bed makes the room stink more than an unlaid bed. So the one that you hate the most is actually the wet towel. So you want to ensure that every time you have your bath and your towel and your towel, not lay your bed, sweep your room, put your books somewhere. No. So stubbornness, how old is the child? If the child is about 2 to 3, stubbornness is part of it. But if the child is about 5 to 9, the child is supposed to be more calm. So if you're having a child that is super active, what you're saying is, if you tell the child sit down there, he's not sitting down there, he's moving up and down, jumping from one place to the other, he's not listening. That's not the only thing. You also want to ask the teacher, how is this child in school? Is this still in class? Because sometimes children can have two particular disorders that may make them like that. The first one is oppositional defiant disorder. Oppositional defiant disorder is basically that the child does not listen to an authority due to lax parenting. Oppositional defiant disorder is usually due to lax parenting. Those years when the child is developing how to say no before saying yes, if you're the kind of parent that just gives in, you keep giving in, what you're giving now, but you are beginning to lose your pole of authority. You are beginning to share this a little by little by little. So much so that when the child is 6, there's nothing you say to the child. The child only does what she feels like. And you would notice this pattern. It usually starts around the age of 4 to 5. That there's nothing you tell the child. However, that child can't be a good child at school because the teacher is still stern at the child. So it's only at home. So most times when parents want to correct some children, they say, I will tell your auntie. Oh, don't tell my auntie because she's already scared of the teacher. Until the teacher too turns to, I will beat you, I should not beat you. She's crying in class. Oh, then she realized, oh, can I also break this rule, break, break this pole, and there's nobody and the child is listening to. So that is one. That's one way a child can be very stubborn. Another way a child can be very stubborn is if the child has hyperactivity problem or ADHD. So that's why I asked her. You have to ask the teachers how the child is at school. But if your child is way above all this age, or your child is an adolescent, you want to also trace it back. How long has this child been this stubborn? This stubbornness that you're referring to, how long has it been? Did you start? Or if this child has always been stubborn? If the child has always been stubborn, then this is not where this we have to talk better. You may send me an email at inquire@sanemind.org, the same email that sent you this link. You can reply that email. I'll get back to you. But if your child's in the early adolescence or mid adolescence, you're saying your child is stubborn, there's a possibility that it's just part of the development and the fact that your child most likely is being stubborn in areas where you're trying to enforce it on the child, enforce some rules on the child. At adolescence, we still think that we own the children. So um, the child has the plan that when I wake up today, the normal routine is that on Sundays you go to church or you go for a program in the morning and you come back by 2, and after 2 they cook. Between 4 and 6 there's usually a free time, so your child had already prepared that between 4 and 6 I'm going to do so thing. Then 4 and 6 you want to change the role. You want your child to wash your car. Let's say you want your child to wash your car, and you call your child at exactly 4 when he just started the thing he has plans to do, and you say, "Go and wash my car, mommy. Can I wash it um, by 6?" And you say, "Why? You must watch it now. Who are you to be challenging me?" Your child didn't say that I'm not watching it. Your child asked for a time. So you can actually say that, well, if it's not going to actually hurt you, if the child washes it at 6, there's no problem. But if you have to go out at 6, you can say, well, I have to go out at 6. I really need it to be washed now. Calm, close, quiet. No, I am your mother. Whatever I say is what. Okay, so stubbornness, you did not tell me the age of your child, so I'm not able to know what exactly it is. Then Amina said that my children are 6, 4, and 2. I would like to change my spanking and shouting at them when they misbehave. I want to be more patient and understanding yet firm. I love you. So, Amina, what I can advise you is you have 3 children, 6, 4, and 2. 2 years difference. 2 years difference. You have about two of them in almost in the same range. The 4-year-old is tilting towards 6 and 2. So as I said, take like a week off, learn what your children like. The 2-year-old most likely wants your attention. The 4-year-old also wants your attention. The 6-year-old too wants your attention, but the degrees differ. The 2-year-old will want cuddling attention, carry me, and all those kind of attention. The 4-year-old wants attention like read storybook. The 6-year-old wants attention like when you're cooking, she can help you pick your um your vegetables or something. So you now take like 3 days off, find out what are the things that they do to you that annoy you the most. Most likely is house. They're dating the house. They're dating the house. You send them to put they scatter books, they scatter toys. You want to kill me? All those kind of things. So first of all, know what are the things that annoy you the most, and find out what each of your children like. Not what children like, each of your children like. So you attach what you want them to do to what they like. So for the 2-year-old, for example, mommy will play with you if you pull off your shoes at the entrance. 2-year-old most likely will wear the shoe inside and put it up in the sitting room and pull the shirt and leave it by the corner. And the 4-year-old will leave her bag or his bag in the sitting room. The 6-year-old would most likely leave her towel on the bed. So you have to know what is most important to you. What are the things that annoy you the most? No need for so many rules. You as an adult cannot, you don't live by so many rules. So why do you want children to live by so many rules? So look for what are the things that are most annoying to you, list them out. Things your children like, then link it up. When you want them to do anything, remember effective command. You want to be close to them, you want to be calm, and you want to be quiet. There's no need shouting. There's no need. You hurt yourself more when you shout, and you hurt your child more than correct your child when you shout. So, close, calm, quiet. You want to be on the same level as your child as you are when when you're trying to correct them, when they're doing something. For example, your 2-year-old is doing something that you don't like, not that it's being destructive, but something that you don't like. You can ignore the behavior, not the child. So you're in the same room, not as you're not saying, that's your own wahala. What's it? You cannot come and kill me. No, you're in the same room, and you're ignoring each other. You're not giving eye contact. You're not touching, and immediately you see that your child is changing that attitude. Tactful praise. You are. I see that you have stopped jumping on the couch. You're a good boy. Mommy loves you. All those kind of things. I told you, if you're selling something, if you have a job or you're doing something, you take intentional, you work towards achieving your goal. So if your goal is to stop yelling, we can work with this, we can work together. Send me an email. You want to the particular things, you have to take time off to first of all know what annoys you the most, so you can form your rule around the things that annoys you the most. Know what each child likes, so you can attach the reward and punishment to it. So for example, the 6 year old, you can tell her to wash plate 3 times daily. She would hate it. She would hate it. I don't know if your 6 year old washes plate actually. Then the next person said, Usman Waida. She said that to be able to correct his bad habits, 20 months old. You don't blame me. Because you're 20 months. 20 months. You want to be able to correct bad habits. Which bad habits exactly? Because 20 months old baby is just a baby that walks, has jargons. You most likely don't hear half of the things he's saying. He's still taking puries and started learning how to eat Weetabix. Most likely does not like Weetabix. So I don't know the bad habits you're referring to. Your child is going to crutch. I don't know. When you were not able to write, you didn't write the bad habits. So I'm not able to say what it is. Then one of your question is, how can a single mom raise a male child without a father figure? I don't want to appear like a feminist kind of thing now. But what I want to say is, one of the great misconceptions to parenting is to assume that mothers can't parent children well. Is to also assume that the father figure is what makes parenting reinforced. It's also to assume that mothers are the only ones who need parenting class. One of the things I also noticed is that 98% of the people who responded are are females. So the first one that a misconception that parent women cannot parent children is a great misconception. The what we were trying to say is that parent women whose husband are late or they are not available to parent their children cannot cannot have cannot have good children. They cannot have children who behave well. We forget that parenting is majorly, yeah, the parent that is available and also societal perception. So if a single mom, for example, has already given herself that, hey, who will now help me train this my child? That is already shooting yourself in the leg. Another thing is that a single mom has a tendency to over pamper her child because she most likely is seeking all the emotional gratification through the child, and that is understandable. But a child is a child; it is your job to nurture the child. So if you use all these techniques, and for 20 months old, one of the reasons I love parenting classes for younger people is it is easier to put interventions in children, young children, than in older children. In fact, majority of the parenting classes end most times at age 12. Because at age 12, really, what do you want to start telling a 14-year-old? How do you want to start changing a 16-year-old? You've done a lot of work before that age. So when you are saying that you want to employ a new model, it's going to be a really tough decision. So if you employ all these models that we've been talking about, effective command, asking yourself, how are you? What kind of temperament does your child have? Identifying early developmental disorders, which this is not the scope of this parenting class. As I said, parenting is a whole lot, and we cannot in 2 hours, because I think we're about 2 hours gone now, we're close to 2 hours, in 2 hours unlearn all the misconceptions and different theories of our previous parenting styles. We cannot do that. As much as possible, this is just to sensitize us and help us understand that we can do better. In our workplace, we work, everything we do is geared towards getting more sales, getting more customers. So the same thing we can do with our children. So yes, you can parent a child without a father figure. The most important thing is, how are you that you're parenting? Are you overwhelmed with the emotional gap the absence of the father has created? Do you need support? Do you have money to parent your child? Do you have money? Do you need a job? So all of these other social factors would be affecting parenting in a single mom, because if, if a single mom does not have a job, she doesn't have an emotional someone to give emotional solace, it can affect her relationship with her child. So there's this page on Instagram. I've never worked with them before, but I'm hoping that they can help. It's called Single Moms, I think. Single Moms Club, I think. I'm not very sure. But as I said, you can send me an email, require@sanemind.org, so we can talk about this, or requireogumbi@gmail.com. Let me stick to one because that's what we're saying. Require@sanemind.org. Send me an email for me to know the bad habits you want to correct, and we can talk about your own social economic status to see if your present social status can affect you parenting the child without the figure. It's not so the father figure as it is the things that you can offer the child. With a father and there's no money in the family, and there's so much discord between the mother and the father, there's still no good parenting. So we have to be able to work with all the social factors that may be influencing the parent, the mother. Then we want to also know the temperament of the child. Is the child an easy baby, or a difficult, or a soft baby? You also want to also know all these techniques that I've told you about. If your child is 20 months, this is perfect. You are starting from the very scratch. So if you want your child to do anything, you're doing close, calm, and quiet. You're doing tactful praise for the things that he has done that you like. You're not waiting for 100% that until you wash all the plates. Pick all our books. No, pick your books, and she has started picking 4 out of 20. Good girl. Well done. Mommy loves you for picking your, this thing. So, as I said, you have to mention what the child does that you like. Okay. If this is not sufficient for you, you can send me an email, as I said. Okay. And this person said, I don't have a child of my own. What's the name? Akinwumi Yusirat. She said that I don't have a child of my own, but I'm an hostel parent, aunt, and a big sis with lots of cute like arts. I tongue lash them a great deal. I hope this parenting class will teach me one or two things to curb my tongue. We all we all have tongue problem. So, as I said, you want to take note of what annoys you the most. As an hostel parent, oh my, you would even be working with more than a child. So you cannot even use reward of what does each child like as opposed to what does the group of children like. So as an hostel parent, for example, and what annoys you the most is them bringing in contraband. I think contraband stuff, I think. And another one is for them to cook in the hostel. Those are the two things that annoy you the most. And well, schools have rules, so you want to pick like the rules of the school. You want to pick it. The first thing is, do they know these rules? So in their hostel, you put it there, you put it everywhere. First of all, we want to scaffold them, we want them to consistently remember. At the assembly, you say it in the morning, you say it at prep, you say it, do not cook, it is wrong to cook, it is this to do this, it is this to do this. Then, when one of them defaults, you want to correct this person. Say, for example, the person cooks in the hostel. That is a school rule. Then you look for what is the correlate. Do you beat in your school? What kind of beating do you do? Do you do shame beating? Do you beat in presence of others so that they can learn from it and somehow say, this is a bad student, or do you give punishment? I would rather you give punishment because most of the time, most schools do shame beating. So they put the child in front of all the other students and beat the child. That is not that's not mentally healthy for the child. That's not emotionally healthy for the child. But if you give a punishment, for example, to cut all the grass along the walkway or the quadrangle, yes. Or wash the toilet. Yes, wash the toilet. So the group that is supposed to work that they will be like, yes, my portion. Somebody, the person on that is being punished has done my portion. So you can change rather than doing shame beating. You can go into You can do punishments or take out things that they like. For example, if I don't know, so if for example fried rice and jollof rice is being served on Sunday night, so whoever brings contraband to school will not eat fried rice and jollof rice that day's meal, but that is starving the child. So I think punishment will be a better option. So as much as possible, you want to reinforce the rules. You want to keep telling them the rules. You want to keep telling them the rules. And when anyone breaks the rule, you give a punishment. You give punishment. So another one is she's an expectant mom, and she wants to create strong bond between parents and child. If you're an expectant mom, I'm assuming that you're pregnant, and that's great. It means that you can start your bonding from pregnancy. One thing is by the age, oh, I can't remember the particular weeks. I think week 8. I think week 8, a child can hear the ears. I think by week 8, a child can begin to hear. I think I can't remember. I can't remember. But what I am sure of is by the time you're in your second trimester, you can start singing to your child. You can start singing in those times. You can sing to your child. You can eat healthy food. Sing to your child. Recite whatever things that you enjoy. For example, if you're a Muslim, you can recite the Quran. You can do things. You can talk to your child. Creating good bond, strong bond between parents and children starts from when they are in pregnancy. So the child is in your belly, you're doing all of these things. You're not just trying to create bond, you're also trying to improve the cognitive functioning of this child. So when the child, in fact, there has been studies that children who listen to a particular song consistently when they are in their mother's womb, when they are born, they react to that particular song when they hear them being played. So you can talk to your child, you can sing to your child, you can say positive things to your child. You don't, this Yoruba myth of not going to where there's violence is also part of it. When you're pregnant and you're a child, you're nurturing a child in a violent environment, there's a possibility that the child has that kind of behavior. There's a social correlate, a psychological correlate to it. So this is not just a Yoruba fable. So you can do all of those things. When your child is born, the process of feeding, as opposed to feeding itself, is also essential for bonding. So because really, children in orphanages, for example, they are fed morning, afternoon, night, but they are not able to form any attachment to anybody. The staff has morning shift, afternoon, and night shift. So they don't have any attachment to anybody. But for a child with the mother, for every act of breastfeeding, that process of cuddling, all those ones that people usually say that you're carrying your child too much. It's not a big deal if you carry your child too much. If your child, you can carry your child, sing to your child, talk to your child. As early as age 7 months, a child can point. You can bring out books. Books, the book. Another thing is at this age where you're trying to work around digital entertainment. I think somebody asked about digital entertainment. You can introduce books early. You can introduce books early. You can bring out a book and start reading to the child. The child does not understand, no problem. Just keep reading to the child. All of these processes, they're building bonds between the child and the mother and the parents. It's not just the mother's work, as I said, there are a lot of misconception concerning parenting, thinking that it's just the mother's work. It is both parents' work. So you can do that. As the child grows, you can form good habits. Your child is not the child that just sleeps off. You and mommy and child just sleeps off. You can have what's it called? You can have sleeping routine, a routine that you do just before bed. 7:30, you have a warm bath, change into a pajamas, go to on the bed, sing to each other, read a book together. Apart from that, you can also have interactions like having plays and drama. I remember that in fact, for virtually all of us, the most beautiful parts of our childhood are usually those times when we're able to listen to stories, whether from our parents or from our grandparents. So you can reintroduce tales into your house. Your children do not. You don't have to put your children in front of TV watching this cartoon from morning till night before um, just so that they don't disturb you. We can engage in things like I can tell them stories. Ah, there was a girl that went to so place, so thing. So those are ways that you can build bond between you and your child. If you carry your child too much, does not mean that that's the reason your child is attached. Because a lot of people say, ah, don't carry him, if you're not here, your child will be all that's like, it might not be, it's not the reason your child is attached to you. A child will always be attached to his parents. In fact, what later happens with children that their mother say that, don't help me carry him, don't help me carry him, you'll not be here. What usually happens is the child will cry, and when the child realizes that this woman is not going to ever carry me, the child stops crying because she wants, or he wants the mother to carry her. So these are things that you can do to create a bond between you and your children. Then another person said that instilling discipline, getting them to do what I want, open up to me. The child ages between 10 and 2, currently expecting a child. If you're expecting a child, what I just said now is going to help you. Between age 10 and 2, you want them to do what you want. What do you want? What is most important thing to you? I light it out. Intentional means that you want a particular result and you're working hard at it. You're not just waking up that today we'll cook rice, after cooking rice. If that girl did not carry a bill, that will beat her. No, you're going to be working hard to ensure that what you want is done. So you take out what most important thing to you. What is most important to me? What does my child like? Attach reward to what you like, and voila, you're getting good results. These things are not based on maybe she doesn't have children, of which I don't. That's why she's talking like that. No, we've had children who have conduct problems of being very destructive, being very disobedient. And when we attach a reward to the good habits and punishment to the bad habits, they conform. Appropriate reinforcement of good behavior and discouraging bad behavior using psychological theories are all the things that I've told you about. I'm not telling you anything out of fable or something. These are things, randomized control trials that have worked for children. So you can do them. What is most important to you? I like it. What does your child like? Not children, not what children like candy. So you give a 10-year-old candy. Kilo come. Well, what's my own with candy? A 10-year-old does not care about candy. A 10-year-old does not want, well, maybe 10-year-old will want candy, but 12-year-old most likely doesn't want candy. If anything, she will even refuse the candy because you did not allow her to play with her friend. So you have to know what each child wants and attach what you want. What you want across all border may also change because you may also want your 12-year-old to respect you more, to do some things more, while your 2-year-old, what you want is for your 2-year-old to be more tidy or your 3-year-old to be more tidy. Yeah, expectation for each child will differ. So you highlight out all the things you want and you attach a reward to it. For a 12-year-old, it's easy for you to reason with a 12-year-old. It's 6:49, and I'm thinking that we may not be able to take as many as I even thought we would be taking. Okay, but we're at 10 now. Okay, we're at parenting in anger. I think I have highlighted it. What annoys you exactly? What do they do to you that annoys you the most? Sometimes it's also random things that you don't even think that they can do, or things that you have said it. No problem. Let us highlight out what are the things your children do presently that annoy you the most. Remember those times that you were very angry, that you beat them beyond control. Remember those times that you insulted them beyond control. What did they do exactly? So you point that out. Then you now bring out what does your child like. So you're able to attach a reward to it. What I want them to be able to pull up their shoes when they come in. I want them to take their plates to the kitchen. I want them to wash their hand after food. Great. So, washing hand after food is essential. Taking plates to the kitchen is essential. So you want them to take their plates to the kitchen. So you say it every time as you're serving the food. Chinedu, when you finish eating, make sure you take your plate to the kitchen. At this time, you're looking at the child eyeball to eyeball. Chinedu, did you hear mommy? You would bring your plate. Chinedu, you bring your plate to the kitchen, Abby? Yes. So Chinedu doesn't bring the plate to the kitchen. Then he said, Chinedu, I told you to bring the plate to the kitchen. You did not bring it to the kitchen. Take your plate to the kitchen now. Chinedu takes it. The next day, you say the same thing, reinforcing it. You keep reinforcing it because at your business, when you want sales, you don't stop on Monday. That I already have customers for Monday. I don't need to make any social media advert on Tuesday. No, you keep doing it. Target marketing. You keep doing it over and over and over again, and and you get your results. So the same thing with your children. You want them to take their place in the kitchen, but because you have said it throughout the whole week, you're like, why can't you just listen? Great. Then you attach a reward to it. If you are able to take your, then you can have a start chart, in fact, in your kitchen. Who brings plates to the kitchen? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You can write like Chinedu, Chigozie, Chikodi. Monday, I didn't have to say it before taking it to the kitchen. Full stop. I said it before I even to take it to the kitchen. Half star. I said it. I didn't say it, and he didn't take the plate to the kitchen. No star. And you continue like that. Whoever has 6 full stars at the end of the week will get so thing after identifying what they like, not what you think they like, oh, what they like. So you are able to attach it. Whoever gets less than 4 stars will wash plate for 2 weeks or 1 week. That can be too much. 1 week, they would all conform to what you want. Okay, so another person said that he's stubborn, so I'm really hard on him. I want to learn to how to make him less stubborn. He's 6 years old. How can I manage my emotion when my kids are not as in not taking out annoyance on them? As I said, the present state of a parent affects the child. So business is not going on fine. You're not getting your sales. The people that are owing you money are not paying, and your landlord just brought bill. You're very angry, and then the child comes, mommy, Chinaya slapped me. Will you get out of this place? It's part of it. It's not actually the fact that because she actually came to report to you that Chinaya, you are the one that said that when Chinaya wants to beat you, come and report to me. And you chased her and she was like, well, mommy said that we should be reporting. What is happening is that you have transferred aggression and it is not out of place. So what you do is when you realize that you're in a situation that is compromised, you're in an emotional situation that is compromised, you're angry, you can tell your children, mommy needs time out. Maybe mommy wants to cry, mommy wants to do this, mommy needs time out. Don't, do not scatter the room because that's another thing. Nobody's watching them, they can just scatter the house. So you don't want that to happen. So that when you're out of the time out, you're outside another anger again. So you say what you don't want them to do and you take your time out. You take your time out, you come out, and hopefully the room is not, the living room is not scattered, and we're happy. So, but your child's stubbornness is also dependent on what is important to you. A 6-year-old wants to play. He's a boy, he wants to play football. Good. But what exactly is wrong with the football that you don't like? He likes playing too much with other people's children, but you don't want him to play with other people's children. But he's 6 now. So which other alternative do you have to cover for what he does that you don't like? Okay, you don't want your son to be in the compound later than 6, but you still he will not come back from school until 4, and he must do his assignment, wash his socks before playing. Which is important to you? You don't want him outside at 6 because it's dangerous. That is important. But you also want him to do his assignment. You also want him to wash his socks. Great. So he can come back from school, wash his socks first. After washing his socks, because those are just two, wash his socks, then he plays with his friends. Once it's 5:40, he comes back inside. It doesn't have to be 6 o'clock, or you can wait till 6 o'clock. Once 6 o'clock, he comes back inside. Then he does his assignment. You have to be able to pick out what is important to you. You have to be able to find out what is most annoying to you and find out what your child likes. Pair them together, reward and punishment. Pair it together. Your child does not like beans. Great. That can be a punishment. Your child does not, you understand? And as much as possible, so feeding is another thing. Some people will say that my child still does not like beans, but I want him to be eating beans. But the only time you serve beans is actually when he annoys you. You can never eat that beans. Okay, so Eva said that a child is a toddler. Okay, there's no question here. Soft way in punishing them. Okay, communication in tense situation. Communication in tense situation most likely is you don't want you don't want a situation where um you would be communicating with them when you're very angry. Like I said, you could take a time out. You can take time out. You can do that. Mm, it's a soft way in punishing them 11-year-old. I told you you have to find out what is very important to you. What is very important to you? What does your child like? What does your child not like? So you can pair the two together. See what's negative about your child's attitude. But if your child is a toddler, negativity is part of it. But you have to ensure that whatever you want that is essential is done. Not everything. When you're outside, you should not be. When you're this year, everything is no, no, no for you. No, you should have some yes moments. Being harsh, my child is 2 years plus. 2 years plus, money. Okay, most likely 2 years plus. There's a lot of no. And find out what's most important to you. Find out what your child likes. Your child most likely likes attention at this time, so you would be needing that. So you can find out all of this and you can pair it together. It is really getting late and we don't have light here. It's dark. So we may have to continue this question and answer to another time. I have been able to answer about 10 questions now. And if you think that your question was not well answered, you can send me an email and we can work together. As I said, the oh, I think it's better. Okay, so as I said, this is we might not be able to. This is already taking 2 hours, and I'm sure that we have a lot of things that we're doing. So we're going to communicate with you another time where we'll continue with this question and answers. We'll be able to cover it. But majority of them still stems from all the things I've said. You have to be able to identify what is important to you. You have to you have to find out what your child likes, what your child does not like. Then you move from there, attach what your child likes to what your child, what you want your child to do to what your child likes and what your child does not like. So what the child does not like can be a punishment, and what the child likes can be reward. All right. So as I said, we'll be continuing this class later. At the time I will send an email to you. We'll be able to have come up with a time when there's light and it's bright. I hope you've been able to pick about 3 or 4 things. I cannot say one or two things, 3 or 4 things from this class, and I hope that it works with you. Kindly send me an email if this class was able to do what was helpful for you in any way. Send me an email. I would like to share that. And as I said, it's not like every other aspect of our lives, we work hard at it. So we can work hard at making sure that our children turn out to be wonderful. The downside of unintentional parenting is physical abuse and emotional abuse. And physical abuse can heal, and sometimes can be really devastating. But emotional abuse can go undetected and can lay the foundation for self-esteem issues, depression, anxiety, and different mental health problems. And we do not want that. We want children who are well adjusted, healthy, and are able to make life decisions without prejudice or anything. Because sometimes some children have emotional disorders that are based on their parenting, the kind of parenting styles their parents had trained them with, and they are seeking validation for everything. Because at home, you this boy, is the behavior that the father does not like, oh, is the behavior that the mother does not like, oh, then they label the child useless boy. You're a fool, useless boy. So the child from age 10, 11 started picking up stuff down. I'm useless, I'm useless, I'm useless. And because most parents do not acknowledge the good things the child do, so there's more talk when the child has done something bad. So the child does not understand what good means. So all the normal things that he has been doing, he doesn't see it as good. The ones that the parents pick up as bad things is what stays in his head. That these are the things I'm always doing, I'm always doing. And when you're talking about so many particular things over and over, it's like you're kind of reinforcing it. So a child that does good things and you never talk about it, but you keep talking about that one thing that it does, there's a possibility that that thing will stay for a long time. So I hope that you have been able to pick 3 or 4 things, as I said, from this training, and I hope that you will send me an email. You can send me an email, and if your questions have not been answered, do not worry. I'll send you an email of when we can do this again and answer all the questions. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for your attention, for your 2 hours and data. Thank you. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you.